Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this B2B lead generation guide, you're going to learn 5 actionable strategies you can apply today with a low budget if you're just getting started as a freelancer or agency owner. Timestamps below along with some deeper dive tutorials based upon the strategy that you choose. And that's because as we go through these 5, you need to make sure that you focus on one. There's only so much time in the day, and you want to become a master of one of these lead generation channels as opposed to doing 3 or 4 of them mediocre, right? And then the second key to success as we dive into these 5 is making sure that you have a clear picture of who your actual ideal customer is. And strategy number 4, we'll talk a lot more about that and your ideal customer. I'll link up in the cards in the description as well to a video that takes a much deeper dive on how to come up with your ideal customer avatar. So the very first strategy we have is one that's probably not going to be all that popular, but that's freelancing platforms, right? If you're new, branching out on your own, the whole prospect of marketing yourself is going to be daunting, and it can be daunting. And a lot of strategies may take a lot longer time than you actually have. So if you're looking to start generating some income from your new venture within the next couple of months, then going to a freelancer platform like Upwork, Guru, even Fiverr, if you can get on Fiverr Pro, or Freelancer might actually be your best option to at least get your income off the ground. Now, is this the most ideal? No, I would say it's the least desirable of all of these 5, but it is an option because it doesn't require any marketing, and the fees for things like Upwork and Fiverr are relatively low compared to what you'd have to pay to get clients on your own. Now, number 2 is going to be a little more popular and manageable, and that is community groups, specifically groups on LinkedIn and groups on Facebook. No, I am in no way, shape, or form saying that you should come up with a nice little sales post and then post your services everywhere. That's not going to work. What you have to do here is identify groups on LinkedIn and Facebook that are full of your ideal customer, right? Not necessarily other businesses like you. So for example, as a marketing agency, we might want to look for local restaurants or let's say dentists, right? Almost every town in the US has a dentist. So we'd say, you know what, our ideal customer is a dentist who's trying to get more teeth cleanings or maybe trying to get more cavities filled or whatever it may be. And then we would go find LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups that are full of dentists. We wouldn't go find Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups that are full of marketers like us, because you don't need to find groups full of people who are doing your similar service. Of course, you can to learn from them, but you need to find groups full of people who are your actual ideal customer. And then when you're in that group, here's the key to this step. You never promote yourself. Again, you never promote yourself. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but all you're in there to do is just talk and be helpful. That's literally it. Which means when you are posting, you're only going to be doing one of 2 types of posts. The first type is where you're sharing valuable information from other sources. You're never using your own sources. Even if you have a blog, you have a YouTube channel, you're doing something great on Medium, doesn't matter. Don't post your own links in there. It just comes across as self-promotion. So other people's links, other helpful content. And then number 2, when you are engaging and answering other people's questions in the group, all of the actual sales is going to be done either via direct message, so they'll reach out to you, or you can reach out to them after you've had a lot of back and forth in the group, or they'll go to your profile and they'll reach out to you because they'll see that you're promoting yourself on your profile. So you can do promotional posts on your LinkedIn or Facebook profile just as a normal post once a week, and that way you have posts and content that are on the platform that clearly show that you're looking for clients and you're open to helping your ideal customer, but you never want to do that inside of the group. Now, number 3 is going to be cold email. And with cold email, you're going to be using some sort of software or service like LinkedIn Sales Generator or LeadFuzz to find emails of key decision makers at the businesses that you want to do business with, right? And so the key to success here is making sure that you're very specific on who you're trying to target, right? So if we go back to our dentist or restaurant example, we didn't just say, okay, local businesses within a 5-mile radius of wherever I may be in the world, right? Well, no, we want to be very specific on, okay, well, what kind of local business, right? So we want to target therapists or chiropractors or dentists. For some reason, I'm on a medical thing right now. So, or restaurants, there we go. There's a non-medical one, right? So whoever your specific ideal customer is, we'll get to more on this in a little bit. bit here. Make sure that you're customizing your emails directly to that person. This is not a time where you just come up with a template and you blast it out, because that's going to be spam, right? So you need to customize the first couple of lines and make sure that it's clear that you actually know who you're sending the email to. And if you want to do more than 10 of these a day, you will have to pick up a service like Woodpecker to allow you to send more emails. Now, these next two are going to be a lot more evergreen. So the good news is it's not as much as day-to-day work. It won't feel like a hustle and grind. The bad news, though, is these are going to take significantly longer than everything else. If we just talked about the first three, you're probably going to find success within the first 3 to 6 months. This one is going to take longer than 6 months. The advantage is it compounds over time, but don't expect anything we're about to cover with these last two to work within the first 6 month period. So if you're strapped for cash, this is not the place to start, right? Start with one of those first three, which is why we went with them. So number 4 is going to be creating pillar content, specifically creating pillar content here on YouTube. Now, I'll link up in the cards and the description to a full-blown video that takes a much deeper dive on how to do this. I'm just going to 80-20 the process here so you see what the actual strategy is. So the first thing, of course, is who is your ideal customer? You want to know what are they struggling with, and you want to know what ultimately results they are after, as well as knowing what type of business are they in, what do they sell, and what is their job title. And then once you know those 3 questions and you know what results they're after and what's getting in the way of the results that they want, you're ready to create 3 valuable pieces of content for YouTube. Now, I want to stop right here and let you know that you don't have to have a big channel for this to work. We have worked with niche channels that have less than 5,000, less than 3,000 subscribers, and they're doing multiple 6 figures off just a couple of valuable videos specific to their ideal customer. And heck, if you don't want to get on camera, just do a SlideShare PowerPoint presentation. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be valuable. Now, for your 3 different videos, you're actually going to make 3 different kinds, and then we'll get into how specifically to make sure that these videos actually drive the action that you want. So here are the 3 kinds that you're going to use. The first one you're going to use is a how-to. You're going to show potential customers exactly how to achieve something that they want. An example from this channel is we do a lot of tutorials on Google Ads and YouTube ads, because as an agency, we run Google Ads and YouTube ads for people. So it makes sense for us to help potential customers get started with their advertising, and eventually, hopefully, they either figure out how to do it on their own, or they say, you know what, this is way too complicated, let's go hire the guys who originally taught us. And that's as simple as it is. The second one is reviews of product or services that are not directly related to your product or service. So it's very important it doesn't come across like you're just reviewing a competitor, right? But you do want to be valuable in helping your ideal customer make a decision on which product or service they should buy. Now, this third one is also helping them make a decision. And this one is a decision guide where you weigh the pros and cons of doing option A or option B. A simple example of this that we've done on this channel is do things like the pros and cons of advertising on Facebook versus the pros and cons of advertising with Google Ads or some other social media platform. So we're not necessarily reviewing the 2 platforms, we're just saying here are the pros of doing it this way, and here are the pros and cons of doing it that way, and cons over here as well. So you kind of just equally weigh it out, so it's very easy for your ideal customer to make a decision. Now, these are the only 3 types of videos that you have to make. So I'm telling you, with this strategy, you only have to make 3 videos. One of these is most likely going to work. And of course, once you find one that works, you just keep making more like that, and then it compounds. But you're just getting started, so start with 3, even if it's just a couple PowerPoints. Now, inside of your videos, here's the key. You want at least 2 to 3 times throughout the video, no matter how long or short it winds up being, have a clear call to action for someone to click a link in the description or check out another one of your videos so that you get them started in your lead generation process. So this can be a call to action to more content, a call to action to hop on the phone with you, or a call to action for something called a lead magnet, which we'll get into with strategy number 5. Now, here are 2 really basic examples of how you could set up this call to action inside of your content. So let's say we're going through a YouTube ads tutorial here and we're just saying, hey, if you want to learn more, check out our YouTube growth webinar here, right? We just say, hey, we have a webinar that expands more on everything that we were talking about. If we directly wanted people to give us their contact information so we could book a discovery or sales call with them, then the call to action would go something like this. Now, if this sounds like too much work, go ahead and check out that link in the description to book a free strategy call with us to have us help you do the heavy lifting. And that's all there is to it, to those videos. Again, I'll link up in the cards and the description to a video that takes a much deeper dive on how to set up that lead generation process. It really is a cinch, and you'd be surprised how many views and how many leads you can get just from a couple of really niche targeted videos here on YouTube. Now, this final one is going to be, I'd say, the best strategy, but it's the most complicated to set up, the most expensive, and it will in fact take the longest, but that's actually creating something called a lead generation funnel. And this is where you're going to create something called a landing page, a lead magnet, and then you're going to use a software like ConvertKit or MailerLite to send out emails. And this is something that you're actually going to be able to scale. Now, the key, before I dive into this, number one, this is not the place to start. I know a lot of new agency owners and freelancers, as soon as they hear the word scale, they're like, oh, that's me, I'm ready to go. You know, we all start with 0 clients, 0 customers, 0 sales. One of the strategies we just talked about is the way to go. This is the one to work on once you have a couple of clients, once you have some cash flow coming in, because it is in fact the hardest, as simple as it may seem. So let's go through the process. How does this work? Well, the first thing you want to do is, just like we talked about creating valuable content in a video, you would create valuable content in the form of a webinar or a PDF where you are helping your ideal customer overcome a roadblock that they're struggling with. In exchange for this information, you ask for their contact information, typically their name or email. If you're doing sales calls, maybe a phone number so you can give them a call or get them to book a call with you. And so all of this process is designed to do is collect contact information in exchange for providing that lead magnet. Now, what the heck could a lead magnet be? Here are a couple of quick examples. It can be a simple case study. It could be an audit showing them what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right. It can be a report where you've taken a lot of data and just crunched it down for them. Or it could be something as simple as a template or worksheet to help them achieve success in a project they're currently working on. As an example, the landing page you're looking at here was built in a free tool called MailerLite, and this is as complex as the web page needs to be. It just has an image, a headline, a couple of bullet points, and then a place to collect the contact information. If you want to learn more about setting up this process, we have a super deep dive video. It's over 30 minutes long. I'll link it up in the cards in the description to a full-blown tutorial on exactly how to set this up click by click. And that does it for the 5 B2B low budget-friendly strategies. So make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more marketing strategy videos just like this one. And until the next, keep building the business you love.